Have you been thinking about moving to Richardson, Texas? Well, in this video, we're going to take a look at any and all things Richardson from a bird's eye view. So if you've been thinking about Richardson, thinking about moving there, this is a video you will not want to miss, so stay tuned. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome, glad to meet you. My name is Wendy Pinnell. I am a local real estate broker here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Dallas, Texas, or any one of its many suburbs, including Richardson, Texas, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell. We've been in the business since 2007, helping buyers and sellers just like you every day. And today, we're going to take a deep look at any and all things Richardson, Texas. So tell you what, let's do. Let's go ahead, wrap it up here, head down into my office, and hop onto my computer. So let's go. Okay, well, as lovely as it is outside, and it is absolutely lovely, I've made it down to my computer now so we can take a look at Richardson. So you can see right here on the map, we have Richardson, then Dallas, and then Fort Worth, and I can kind of zoom out to give you a better look at that. We definitely would not say that Richardson is centrally located, right? So if you are, if your job is in downtown Fort Worth, Richardson is really not gonna probably be the best place for you. But what are we talking commute times? Well, if you're commuting to downtown Dallas, 18 minutes. That makes sense, right? Because you really are so much closer to downtown Dallas. So let's see what that would look like. Well, it's going to be like a straight shot down 75, right? Uncomplicated. And one thing you're going to see is that Richardson has 75 cutting right through the middle of it. And that's really nice. I like it when I can see a north-south highway as well as east-west. And so, yeah, a lot of the commute times in the different areas I mentioned are going to involve, they're going to start off with 75. Surprise, surprise. Okay, well, how about if you were commuting to downtown Fort Worth? Okay, obviously what would we expect, right? It's a 40-minute commute, quite a bit longer, twice as long. Okay, so let's see what that would look like commuting to Fort Worth. Of course, you're going to start along 75, which is exactly what we would expect. Then you're going to take 635 on over down to a little bit of George Bush, and then you're going to have 183 and 121. Okay, so 40-minute commute. Again, if you're working in downtown Fort Worth, you have better options than Richardson. Okay, all right, what if you wanted to go to the AT&T Stadium? A little bit of entertainment there. Let's see what that would look like. Okay, it's going to look something like this, and it's going to be right around a 36-minute commute. So once again, you're going to start off with 75, right? Just what you would expect. Then you've got 635 down to George W. Bush and over to 30. So 36 minutes for a little bit of entertainment and sports. Sounds good to me. All right, how about if you had to travel with work? DFW Airport, 26 minutes, okay? Let's see what that would look like. So 26 minutes, not bad at all. Let's see what that would look like. All right, we have Richardson, and once again, we're starting at 75, then we're going over 635, and eventually to 121. So 26 minutes isn't bad. I can tell you though that this 635 is a very congested highway. So just something to keep in mind, but yeah, 26 minutes, not atrocious, right? Okay, how about Las Colinas? I like to talk about the Las Colinas Business Center because it has so many jobs. So if you're one among the thousands working in Las Colinas, check that out. 16-minute commute, not bad at all. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Alrighty, let's see here now. Close this one off. And there we have it. Not a bad commute at all. You're going to take 75 to 635 over to George W. Bush. Okay, but while we are on this topic of Las Colinas, right, we've talked so much about how many jobs it has, and kind of how it's this tech hub. I had to tell you that really Richardson has its own fair share of jobs, okay? In fact, it's a pretty big hub all on its own. Back in the day, it used to be called the telecom corridor, okay? And now that telecom has, kind of died out to where it's not just a massive enterprise, it's become a lot more diversified, and that's exactly what Richardson leadership wanted to see happen, and they were successful in that. But Richardson does have a lot of large corporate companies, lots of jobs, really starting out with Texas Instruments. They have been there for a long time, a lot of jobs there. So Texas Instruments, in fact, that's where that original name telecom corridor really came into play. All right, other companies though, you have Genpact, which is technology management. And here, each one of these, we're talking over thousands of jobs here. All right, you have State Farm, not just one of those little branches, but the actual gigantic company, State Farm, for insurance services, right? You also have Raytheon, which is completely different. It's aerospace and defense. So really, when Richardson kind of struggled a little bit with telecom not offering as many jobs, the mission of Richardson leadership was, hey, let's diversify, and they really did a good job. You can see that they've got multiple large employers here. So chances are probably pretty good that you have a job. Maybe you're relocating and your job is in Richardson, in which case, it's great news because you can find some fantastic neighborhoods, and barely have a commute at all. So that's really neat. I always like to point that out. As much as Las Colinas has all those jobs, Richardson has its fair share as well. Okay, well, let's take a look at some statistics, kind of get our bearings and get familiar with Richardson in a little more detail. Okay, population, 125,000. Now, it is not, for that reason, it's a big suburb, but it's not among the biggest, right? Because we have Dallas, then we have Fort Worth, and then we have the big six, right? The ones that are over 200,000, and then we have Richardson coming in under that. So yeah, 125,000 there and some change. It's in Dallas County. Okay, land area, 28 square miles. And I really want to point this out to you that this is a very densely populated city, okay? This is more densely populated than Frisco, more densely populated than Plano. All of the cities, right, that you think of as so maybe crowded or full, Richardson is more densely populated. It's more densely populated than Carrollton, than Addison, right? So only 28 square miles with a population of 125,000 plus all those big corporations there, right, that are going to bring in employees. So just kind of something to be aware of is that Richardson is pretty densely populated. All right, growth rate, 1.16%. We're going to see in a little bit here that there is a little bit of new construction, but not a whole lot. And so you're not going to see massive growth, right? It's pretty landlocked. Okay, since 2010, it's grown by about 26%. Population then was just under 100,000. Your average household income, 107,000. And your home ownership rate, 58%. Now, I've talked a lot in these videos about how like those high home ownership rates, but you should know that this is a college town, okay? It has the University of Dallas. So to the extent that this is a lower home ownership rate, it's important to understand that having a college campus within the city will definitely contribute to that. Okay, so let's take, and while we're on that topic, let me show you those colleges there. We have Dallas College, which is a community college, Richland College over here. All right, Dallas College is the Richland campus here. But here's the one, let's see here that I wanted to show you, which is the University of Texas at Dallas. And this is a very sophisticated university. In fact, it's been referred to as the MIT of the South. So this is very technological, very high ranking university here. And so that's definitely also going to support that lower home ownership rate as well. Okay, well, let's take a look at shopping. What does Richardson have in the way of shopping? Well, they have the Richardson Heights Village. I just kind of threw out a few here for you to see. They have the Camelot Shopping Center, and this one I just think is really fun. This one is called the DFW Chinatown, and they call it your one-stop shop of all things Asian cuisine. So that's really neat, neat place that you want to frequent if you're up in Richardson. But of course, Richardson does have, other strip centers and shopping and whatnot. You can see here they have, a Whole Foods Market. Right in here, they've got the Mediterranean Grill right in here. So any place that you kind of, let's see if we can, all along Campbell Road, okay, is a lot there. You've got Torchy's Tacos, you've got this neat little trampoline park, sushi, you've got Mediterranean, so you've got a lot of different cultural diversity here. The Velvet Taco, there's Chipotle. So you do have, I wouldn't say, you know, that you have any kind of major mall activity in Richardson, but you're really close to like the North Park Mall and the Galleria. So that's good in terms of satisfying that need to shop. Okay, well, let's touch on housing a little bit and schools. Housing, let me give you a look at that. All right, the median sales price in Richardson, oh, that's way too big, was $410,000. Okay, and that's in the past 90 days. Okay, median price per square foot, $203 per square foot. This is about average for this area of the Metroplex. In the southern parts, like in Mansfield, you're going to see more of a median price, like 170s in that area per square foot. Way south in Waxahachie, you're going to see like prices as low as $160 a square foot. So let me kind of show you, give you some perspective on the areas I'm talking about. So like down here in Mansfield or in Waxahachie, the southern sector is often going to be more affordable than the northern sector, and that's certainly true here. So, but really that median sales price of $200 a square foot honestly is not bad in these northern areas. It's actually pretty good. In fact, we just recently did a tour of Irving where we saw that it was like $220 a square foot. So not bad there at all. Luxury and affluent areas, North Richardson, Canyon Creek Country Club. Okay, so it does have some affluent areas. Now, does it have any new construction? Oh, not much, really not much at all. It does have this one little area, but it's only like 34 homes. So this is the Village at Abrams. It only has one builder. They only have 4 different transitional building plans that can be customized. It is gated and starting at $750,000. So at the time of this video, they still have some available, but they'll be gone pretty fast, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, in terms of new construction, you're not going to find much. However, Richardson really is known for its older homes, its beautiful neighborhoods, its mature trees. In fact, I want to show you this because I think this is really neat. Let me close in here on Cottonwood Creek. This is very cool. Did you know from niche.com in 2022 it was named the #2 best place to live in all America? So that's very cool. The entire country, okay, right here in Richardson. And really, again, it doesn't surprise me because Richardson has those older neighborhoods with lots of beautiful, beautiful mature trees. So yeah, so a lot to offer there. Not new construction. If you're like, Wendy, I have to have new construction, you know, Richardson is probably not where you're going to want to look, okay, because most of it is going to be older. Along in here, this Breckenridge area, you're going to see the newer ones, more built in the 90s. But yeah, for the most part, really this is an older area with beautiful mature trees. All right, so how about schools? How are schools in Richardson? Let's take a look at that. All right, let's start with good old niche.com, okay? Because Niche gives us a great overview. And Niche is the same one that, you know, said that Cottonwood was the #2 best in America. So niche.com is very helpful. They gave public schools an A, housing a B+, said it was good for families with an A, crime and safety a C+, and diversity an A+. And we saw that even with all those restaurants, right? That there was great diversity there. All right, so niche.com kind of gives us that big picture overview that we like to see, but then when we want to dig a little deeper, we get into greatschools.org. So both of those are just fantastic websites. Let me show you based on greatschools.org. Let's take a look at that, okay? See all those numbers pop up. These are all different ratings. So the top ratings for Richardson was they went between a 7 and a 9. There weren't any 10s. And an important thing to know here is that every one of these are elementary schools. So these top scoring schools are all at the elementary level. So Richardson has some pretty good ratings at that elementary level, but not so much in the middle school and the high school. So just something to be aware of there. You've got, again, plenty in, kindergarten through 6th. If you know that this is going to be like a step home, like you're going to live here for a few years and then move, while your kiddos are in elementary school, you've got some good variety, but just in that middle and high school range, you're talking about lower scores, unfortunately. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you was I wanted to give you an idea of outdoor life there in Richardson, and they are big on their trails. And yes, as you can see, I had fun with my icons again. All right, so you can see they've got a lot of trails and a lot of connecting trails. So, to the extent that I was saying it's densely populated, they've also got plenty of green space. So I love that. Now over here is a really nice area. This is the Breckenridge Park. And again, this is that top part of Richardson right in here. And you've also got Firewheel Golf Park here, but this is that top part. That's the houses are a little newer in here, and they've got this really neat park. But also they've got all these hiking trails. Okay, you've got Renner Trail, you have the Spring Creek Trail, you've got Owens Trail, right? Just a ton of these trails. And this, honestly, I just put some on here so you can get an idea, but there are more, and they're very connected. And so Richardson does value its outdoor space, even though it's so densely populated. And again, it is very densely populated. I think I mentioned more densely populated than Frisco, more than Arlington, okay, more than McKinney. So definitely got lots of people, but that's a very cool feature, I think, that they also have, made room for that green space. Anyway, okay, well, that is what I wanted to show you today. I hope this was helpful. Hope you got a really good idea of Richardson. Again, a densely populated city with lots of great jobs, but also some really great residential areas, among the top in the nation, right? Scored as the top in the nation. Well, I hope this was helpful, and if it was, head on over to my YouTube channel and maybe check out a few more, right? In the meantime, listen, thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great day.